views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
To begin our program, let's do the National Anthem, and it will be performed by Belinda Barnes from the Bronx VA Medical Center. Also,
Thank you. Good.
So everybody please rise and we'll ask Ms. Barnes to come.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free, and the home of the brave, the
Of course, the last couple of words for that song are "play ball," but that's another issue. You know, silly me. I was when Ms. Barnes came to the up here, I was going to say, "Oh, well, I'll give her the microphone." Clearly unnecessary at this point. Thank you so much, Belinda Barnes. A rousing rendition, and kind of reminds us of why we're all here. Anyway, good morning, everybody. My name is Gary Axelbank. I'm the host of Bronx Talk and the Bronx Buzz on BronxNet Television. It has been my honor to MC this event for many, many years. You know, we have a much smaller group this year. As I was coming here, I was like scratching my head. You know what? This is probably the first time I've been to an event in more than a year and 3 months. First time, and I MC a lot of these things, but we haven't done it for a year. And it just reminded me, and even looking at the size, the smaller size of the room, it's all about change. I mean, we have to adapt to change, and nobody knows that more than our veterans who operate under the most difficult circumstances, sometimes changing minute by minute. But the one thing that stays consistent, the one thing that is the same for this event and for any celebration of veterans across our country is who they are and what their service is about. That stays consistent. That's why we're here, because, and I've said it every year that we've run this event, without you folks, without our veterans, we have nothing. We have nothing. You know, there's been a lot of talk about the nature of freedom and what freedom means to America. It's been a major dialogue throughout the year. We don't have that if we don't have you, and there's no question about that. So I always say, I got 2 words for you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it's not about me, obviously. I'm happy to pass along the microphone to a number of people through this program. Let's start off with the invocation, and from the Borough President's office, it is Cecilia Hernandez.
Good morning, everyone. Please bow our heads. Father, thank you, God, for bringing us together to celebrate our veterans. Thank you, God, for having us here, even if it's in a smaller group, at a smaller capacity. But those are times, this is a sign that times are changing, and we might be going back to normal. Thank you, Lord, for having us here. Bless our veterans, bless their families, and bless us all that are here in this room. Thank you. Amen. Amen.
One quick note, and I've got to remember myself, turn your phone off or make sure it doesn't ring during the program. We are here, and thankful and grateful that we are here, but there are many of fallen soldiers and servicemen and women who are not here. So today, in addition to recognizing veterans who continue to contribute to our country and borough, we also acknowledge those we lost serving our country and their Gold Star families. Gold Star families have lost a loved one while serving our country. So we're going to call for a moment of silence, and during that we'll hear the names of those who we honor who paid the ultimate sacrifice in serving in Iraq or Afghanistan.
Commander Joseph Acevedo, United States Navy.
Sergeant Stephen Checo, United States Army.
Private Isaac T. Cortez, United States Army.
Staff Sergeant Jeanette Thomas Dunn, United States Army.
Staff Sergeant Christian Philip Engeldrum, United States Army.
Lance Corporal Alberto Francatino, United States Marine.
Staff Sergeant Henry E. Irizarry, United States Army.
Captain Eric Alton Jones, United States Marine.
Private First Class Miguel Angel Marsali, United States Marines.
Specialist Victor A. Martinez, United States Army.
Private First Class Luis Antonio Moreno, United States Army.
Staff Sergeant Christopher A. Slutman, United States Marine.
Sergeant Nathaniel Troy Swindle, United States Army.
Specialist Dion L. Taylor, United States Army.
Corporal Ramona M. Valdez, United States Marines.
Sergeant Jose Miguel Velez, United States Army.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, listening to those names, I am reminded in the Jewish traditions when we have Passover, we have a cup of wine and we take a drop out of the cup for each plague that was visited. And it occurred to me at that moment, we feel the same way, and they represent our tears and also how much each drop, we are each diminished by the loss of those people. So thank you to the Borough President's office, and thank you to Jeff and to Tracy for taking care of that difficult task. On the good side, we have a wonderful event this morning, and also we have people to thank. you can see the names of sponsors are around. I saw them on the doorway when we came in. So I'm going to mention their names throughout, so we have a nice long list, and that's a good thing. So we'll thank our Bronx Week sponsors, our gold sponsors, Montefiore Medical Center, Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Bronx Care. And so we'll mention some of those names as we go on. And listen, I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't thank my colleagues who are here from BronxNet Television. Thank you very much. You know, I'm well aware, and I know people who are servicemen and women, they know that you don't go alone. You don't travel alone. And I never travel alone because, you know, I'd be talking to myself if I didn't have these great crew members. So thank you to everybody who's here from BronxNet Television. And I guess that means we're live, right? We're live and in person, somewhere out there in the world. Anyway, let's get right to it. And he is the #1 citizen of the Bronx. And I guess this would be his last official Bronx Week and Veterans Breakfast. He and I have stood together, not on this podium, but over there every year for this event. It is my pleasure to welcome the Borough President of the Bronx, the first citizen of the Bronx, Ruben Diaz, Jr.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. First of all, let me just say to Belinda Barnes, I think the New York Yankees should just hire you to sing the National Anthem during every single game. Let's give her another strong round of applause. Let me just thank my team, Tracy McDermott, and everyone in the Borough President staff for once again putting this event together. Let's give Tracy a strong round of applause. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. They work pretty hard. Including the fact that Ms. Hernandez had to be, sub and give the invocation to Bishop Rosario, who normally would do it. We wish him well. He's not feeling too healthy. He's feeling under the weather. So pray for him, and we want him to get back stronger and better than ever. To the good folks here at the Sam Young American Legion Post 620, thank you for hosting us. Let's give them a strong round of applause. To Gary Axelbank, the fact that, you say this is my last official veterans event, and that is correct. My last Bronx Week event as the Borough President, and that is correct. But if folks don't know, I have a record that I don't know. I want somebody to try to break it, and that's for the elected official who's been on Bronx Talk here in the Bronx. And so,
30 times.
Right, that's me. And so to all of the elected officials, don't be scared of Gary Axelbank. I challenge you all to try to break my record. But let's give Gary Axelbank another strong round of applause for being with us here. To the coolest commissioner of the New York City Department of Veteran Services thus far, James Hendon. Let's give him a strong round of applause for being with us here today. We look forward to hearing your words. To Joe Mondello and to all of my Veterans Advisory Council members, if you would allow me just to say to Joe Bello, Vicky Bello, Sean Kingston, Dwayne Gathers, and Luis Soltero Rodriguez, thank you for making me smart. Thank you for fighting the good fight on behalf of the almost 40,000 veterans here in the Boogie Down Bronx. Let's give them all a strong round of applause. The reason why I say they make me smart, I am a son of a veteran. I'm not a veteran myself, but even more importantly, I'm proud of a U.S. military police lieutenant. Our baby, our youngest son, Ryan Diaz, the lieutenant based out of Savannah, Georgia. And so to all of those who are looking or going to look at this event, via BronxNet or through some media. And if you are a veteran, if you are a parent of a veteran, we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you because our veterans go unrecognized. Politicians quite often talk a good game. I will be the first to admit that when I first took office at Borough Hall, I was not well versed until Tracy and Mondello and all of the advisory council members brought before me a series of issues that affected and unfortunately at times negatively impacted our veterans. I'll just say this, yes, we are celebrating Bronx Week. And we have to do it in a more modified way because of the pandemic. We lost lives, ladies and gentlemen. We lost jobs. We lost our momentum. One of the things that we lost, whether we like it or not, is our liberties. And if you've been frustrated over the last 13, 14 months about not being able to go outside, not being able to partake with family members, not being able to enjoy a picnic at a park the way that you were accustomed to, imagine if our veterans did not fight for those freedoms, war after war after war. If you've just been frustrated for 13, 14 months, if it weren't for our veterans, we would have never even known what those liberties are. And so when we celebrate the very best of our borough during this week, no matter what, in our deliberations, and we felt like we had to get back to it at some level, we had to ensure that this event, even though we've had hundreds of people at Maestros in the past, and hopefully the next borough president, and by the way, we're joined here with our Deputy Borough President, Marika Scott McFadden. Thank you, Deputy, for being with us. We want the next borough president, we want the next mayor, we want the next city council, we want the state legislature. We want folks to be real about how you give back to our veterans. Yes, we want the recognition, and we're recognizing powerful individuals for their service today. Yes, we appreciate the celebrations and the festivities, but we have to go a step further. We have to go much further. Just to recap, because of the Veterans Council, I mean, the last time that I was here at this post, we were able to roll out what we call our Veterans Resource Guide. That was the last time we were here. We had that event, right, Joe?
Downstairs, yes.
Downstairs. We have Veteran Resource Fair. Over the last year, the Resource Fair was held here as well. We had representation from various city agencies and veteran organizations sharing information and resources to our vets. In the past, we had the Resource Guide as well. That is sort of like a one-stop shop pamphlet where we know that veterans come to our office and other community-based organizations and elected officials' office, our community boards. And what we wanted to do is to create an online Veterans Resource Guide, which can be found at www.bronxborough, that's B-R-O-R, press.nyc.gov, and you can just check it out, and that's where you get an updated version of all of the different agencies and services that are readily available to our veterans. In the past, we saw that we had an underrepresentation of veterans in our community boards. And we were able to be on the front line with our residents and our community boards. We established veterans committees in the community boards. We raised interest, and we had much more participation, and I was able to name more and more veterans to the community boards. We had the Bronx Veterans Courts. We saw that other boroughs had it. We know that for so many different reasons, veterans have issues that they have to face, and they were not justly treated in our judicial system. So we felt it would only be adequate to say that with this advisory council, that the Bronx and the Bronx VA, the medical center, we successfully advocated and created the Bronx Veterans Court. The Veterans Court serves as an alternative to incarceration and assists our veterans whose interaction with the justice systems has resulted from mental or substance abuse problems arising from military services, and steer them to treatment programs instead of incarcerating them. That was a game changer. And if it were not for this Veterans Council, that certainly would not have been on my radar. So for that, I want to say thank you, and those are one of the things that I'm proud of. And then we do food giveaways, we do events like this, but our veterans, ladies and gentlemen, also need affordable housing and dignified housing and a roof over their heads. And one of the things that we've been able to do is work with different developers. We've done the Jericho Project. It is a non-for-profit that has 2 residences for homeless veterans in the Bronx. Residents, once they received $10.6 million in stimulus funds towards the construction of its supportive housing facility at 2701 Kingsbridge Terrace, which has 76 units of supportive housing and 15 professional staff and counselors, plus a garden, gym, and a computer lab. My office was able to provide $1 million in capital funding towards that project in collaboration with HPD. And then we also have Residence 2, which is another Jericho project where veteran residents comprise of 56 units on this site is located at 355 East 194th Street. So these are just some of the things that we were able to do, but I promise you all we've done is scratch the surface. We have to stay diligent. We have to stay visible. If you are out there and during this summer you are craving for a hot dog and a hamburger with your family, if you're going to Orchard Beach, if you want to go to a park and fly a kite, if you want to ride your bicycle, if you want to enjoy those freedoms, yes, it was COVID who stopped us from those freedoms in the last 13 or 14 months. But you got to give credit to our veterans who for decades, if not centuries, have allowed us to be able to enjoy those summer after summer consistently to begin with. And so for that, as the Bronx Borough President, and my last time officially as this event, I just want to say thank you. Stay committed, stay resolved, stay focused, and to all of the elected officials in the Bronx and beyond, our veterans need you now more than ever. And so you can't speak out of both sides of your mouth. If you're going to make commitments, if you're going to make promises, we're going to expect for you to live up to them. God bless you all. God bless our veterans. God bless the Bronx. And God bless the United States of America.
Our next speaker is, I'd like to say he's a friend of mine. He's been on my TV show a couple of times because we were doing exactly what the borough president said. We were representing, we were making sure that Vietnam vets got what they deserve, and we all partner in that. And so let's introduce the chairperson of the Bronx Veteran Advisory Council. He's also an active leader and member of the American Legion. You got it. Served during the Vietnam War era in the U.S. Air Force, but he's back down to earth right now, so it is my good friend, Joe Mandela.
Thank you, everybody. First of all, I want to welcome for the borough president and his staff. Thank you very much again for this. All our veterans, our guests, anyone else who, I don't know who, we got everybody, right? It's small. You know, it's interesting, every year for the past dozen years or less than dozen years, we held this over at Maestro. It started out of when Ruben Diaz took over and we met about what could we do with for the veterans. I said, we need to honor our Bronx veterans, and we're one of the first to do that as far as I think as a county. And first we did some outdoor events at Pelham Bay Park, which with the weather hindered if it was going to work or not. Then of course our liaison Tracy McDermott said, we're going to do it at Maestro. And for I think over 8, 9 years maybe, or give or take, it grew. How many? Oh, we have about 200 next year, 250, 275. We hit almost 400. 400 veterans from the Bronx on this date every year would come in for a breakfast. But this is the cherry on the pie. The others were just spectators. This is what we're here for. You folks, you honorees, you know, they came to see you, and we apologize, but hopefully they're all watching us on BronxNet, and they're all applauding right now. You know, but listen, really, it's an honor. I'd like to also ask my veteran council to stand up and be recognized. We have Joe and Vicki, Sean. Thank you. Unfortunately, some of our members are either working or I think on vacation, which I envy them, right? Lewis, I think it's taken. Lou is a great member. He works for the college, Lehman College, and a source full of information. A little something that I thought was interesting. Though we held this event over at Maestro, which is a great commercial catering hall, bringing this event, the last event for our borough president, into a home of a veteran, the Samuel H. Young Post, is very significant. If you don't know, Samuel H. Young was a Bronxite back in 1917, a little over 100 years ago. Farm boy probably, was called up to serve his country, as millions were, to go fight the Great War over in France against World War I. He went through his training in South Carolina, was shipped over into France, and to fight into a battle called the Hindenburg Line. Probably not there much longer than 1918, prior to the ending of the war, was killed. So again, like many of those veterans did come back to their boroughs, to their states, and maybe, so that would be around 1919 when the American Legion started. This building was probably put together around 1948, just at the end of World War II. Again, this is a home for veterans, for many of those veterans that needed a place to recover. You know, back then it was shell shock, you know, or whatever they may have called it, what we call PTSD today. You know, this is a home where many veterans came through this door for help. But it's an honor to have all you here today accepting this award in our home for Veterans to Veterans. So we want to thank you for that. Not much more to say. Congratulations to everyone, and enjoy the day. Thank you.
You know, I'm kind of getting used to the fist bump, you know? That's how you come off the court, in the basketball court, that's what you do, right? So it's a little more familiar. I do want to mention a couple of the other sponsors. Our gold sponsors include Con Edison, Waste Management, Lincoln Medical Center, Herbert H. Lehman College, my alma mater, the borough president's alma mater, as a matter of fact, Hostos Community College, and Bronx Community College. So thanks to all those institutions. Did I get a groan when I said my alma mater? No? Okay. No. Oh, and, well, how many people here from graduated Lehman College? All right, you see? There we go. All right. You know, we talk about, and the borough president talked about making sure that veterans get what they deserve. And you know, at the top of the food chain there is the commissioner of the New York City Department of Veteran Services, and he's a Bronxite. Who could be more committed than? And let's introduce Commissioner James Hendon. And you're doing this one. There you go.
Thank you so much. First, just want to give honors and salutations to the good folks at the Bronx Tourism Council, BronxNet, the Bronx Borough President's Veterans Advisory Council. You just heard from Joe Mondello, and of course, you know, I'd be remiss if we didn't call out the Bronx Borough President's Office and Borough President Diaz Jr. So please give everybody a round of applause, please. I want to thank our hosts as well, as far as the Sam Young American Legion Post, and you know, get right to it, to the business of honoring our honorees. Sorry, before I forget, just to give it up, if you could please give a round of applause to the folks who are not with us, but who are with us in spirit online and in the room. Thank you so much for being here. You know? And I do believe what was said, that once we get into next year, we're going to see these numbers keep going as far as the number of folks who embrace this. So just for our honorees, to Herb Barrett, to Phillip Kremens, to Chaplain Maria Estrella, to Commander Toba, I'm gonna get it right, Adame La Crown Oluwatunda, to Owen Mangan, and to Sean Kingston, thank you and congratulations so much for being this year's crop of honorees. You know, we're not at Maestro's this year, we're here at Sam Young, and so I would be remiss if I didn't call out the history, not necessarily of this place, but something that is near this place. I want to take a minute and talk about the Battle of Westchester Creek. Not too far away from here, off of the Hutchinson River Parkway in East Tremont. If you go towards where there's a McDonald's and there's a Chipotle, there's a, I won't get to it, there's a Verizon, there's a BP, there's Lehman High School, and there's Renaissance High School for music, theater, you know, right there also is a White Castle. At that White Castle is a memorial, it's a monument, a plaque, right there in the parking lot. Don't know if anyone's seen it, but it says, on October 12th, 1776, a critical revolutionary battle was won by keeping Westchester Creek Bridge and surrounding swamplands. Also at nearby Dock Street, toll ships landed cargoes and travelers for over 2 centuries. So to put it in perspective, let's go back in time. Let's remove the White Castle. Let's remove the BP. Let's remove the Verizon and the Chipotle and the McDonald's and even the schools. America had declared its independence in July of 1776. Had one of our first major battles, the Battle of Long Island, late August 1776. Commander of the British troops, General William Howe, was chasing commander of the rebel troops, General George Washington. And they were hot on their heels. There was a need to have some sort of to hold off that British army. And so General Washington said to General William Heath, his commander, look, General Howe's got people hot on our heels. I need you to hold them off. I need you to find a place in what used to be Westchester County before they knew to do it right and make it a part of the Bronx. I need you to defend whatever you think is the most critical area of terrain in Westchester that would help to prevent them from catching us. Because if that does not happen, then there is no army of the United States, of the 13 colonies. And so General Heath said, okay, let me look at this point called Westchester Square, and let me look at a place called Westchester Creek. So before you had the White Castle there, you had this critical juncture where there was a tidal mill, there was a footbridge, and it was a kind of spot where we knew if the Brits were hot on Washington's heels, they would have to pass it. And so he chose 25 men. These were Delaware militiamen, they were riflemen. He said to them, I need you to A, be ready to blow up this bridge here because they're gonna have to cross it, they're gonna try to get to me. And B, shoot as many people as you can. And so these 25 men holed up at this creek, wound up having to defend what was 80 to 90 boatloads of men who were the Brits, who landed at Throg's Point and started marching. And so they blew the bridge, they killed as many as they could, and Howe had no choice but to have a retreat, order a retreat. He bought valuable time for the colonists. By doing that, we created a situation where Washington wound up going to White Plains and then continuing to, the retrograde. And then Howe ultimately came back and took Pelham, but it bought time. Had that time not been bought, we might be speaking a different, we might have a different accent today. This might be a different country today. It just wouldn't be the same. And so the point of the story is not too far from where we sit. People said, I'm gonna make a stand in the Bronx to do right by this country. I'm gonna sit here and whatever comes to me, I'm gonna deal with it, I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna fight it because of something so much greater. That is no different from what our honorees today do day in and day out. You could be, you could be commander of an American Legion post at Co-op City or Throg's Neck. You could work at the VA as one of the advisors there. You could be someone who is not only in a Jewish war veterans post, but also year in and year out ensures that we have a commemoration at the Memorial Grove at Van Cortlandt Park. You could be someone who spends and has dedicated her life towards making sure that our veterans have food, have clothing, have housing. It's the same issue. I'm gonna stand in this gap. Whatever comes at me, we will deal with it to do right for the greater good, and we appreciate you so much for that. And so to that, we honor you this year. And I can't say it enough, Herb and Phillip and Marissa, Commander Toba, Owen and Sean, keep doing what you're doing. We're not just giving this award out as a reflection of the end of the race. I don't care if you're 90 years old like Herb. I don't know which one of you is the youngest buck between you. My money's on Marissa because she looks like she's not a day over 20. But I don't know, young or old. This is all about decisions. Every single day, all of us make decisions to try to be right by people, to try to be right by our brothers and sisters who've served, whether we wore the uniform or not. So I'm so happy to see Sean get awarded and acknowledged here today because it doesn't matter. Everybody, we're all in this together. It's all a family. And so, we're giving you the pat on the back now, but we ask you to just keep going out there and continue to handle your business, keep making those decisions, do what's right. Also, because you know how it is when you're a leader, they keep putting more things in your kit bag, in your knapsack. Continue to infect others with what you do. Just you vibing the way you vibe. Look at the borough president. If you want to look no further than that as an example of a leader who, by just his presence and how he conducts himself, it energizes all those around it. It inspires and motivates, and we ask you to just keep doing that because it has so many second, third, and fourth order consequences in a good way. And last, but not least, I say it every time I talk to folks, never gets old. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your service. We always talk about what it means to be that man or woman at that post who's defending America from afar, from enemies, that would come at us, foreign, domestic, we always talk about that. It's a whole other level to be the person helping the person who's doing that work. And for those who take that up, it is such a, I don't know what to call it other than a calling and such a gift to be that person to say, you know what, I'm gonna do right by these men, these women, and their families who have served. If we can't do this right, we're broken as a country, and I'm so glad we do it right every day because of your efforts. And so, that being said, congratulations again, as far as this Veterans Appreciation event, and God bless you, God bless the city of New York, and God bless America. Thank you.
I try and follow that up. The best way to do that when you have to follow a great speaker, you quote from that speaker. And I wrote it down. I wrote it down, and I'm going to remember this because he said it just right. I'm going to make a stand in the Bronx to do right for our country. And you put that in stone because that really, thank you so much, Commissioner. Really, it meant a lot to me, even just those simple words. Crystallizes what I think a lot of us feel every day in everything that we do. And in my mind, it always starts here in the BX. It's the center of the universe, and that's what we do, that's it. All right, now the fun stuff, right? All right, so let's bring up the Borough President, and I'm gonna read, now you've got a summary of every one of the honorees in your, in the program. I'm gonna summarize the summary. So let's start with Mr. Herb Barrett. Herb Barrett, you can come on up. Herb Barrett was born and raised in the Bronx, and at 90 years old is not slowing down. He served as corporal in the U.S. Marine Corps during the Korean War, the Forgotten War, during 1951 and 1953. Herb coordinated a campaign to restore the Memorial Grove in Van Cortlandt Park. In 2011, Councilman Oliver Capel allocated $275,000 to restore Memorial Grove, which now contains 37 veteran monuments, including 4 which are honorary. He's also a member of Bronx Community Board 8's Parks and Recreation Committee, serves as Vice Commander of the Jewish War Veterans Post 69. What doesn't he do? Ladies and gentlemen, Herb Barrett.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Before I say anything, I must say thank you to this young lady sitting here. Forget about her brass, forget about her ribbons. She's a nurse. A lot of us needed her care, so God bless the nurses in the Corps of any branch. First of all, I involved with a place called Memorial Grove. And I want to say, Borough President, here's the first invitation to our ceremony, November 7th. Please come over and say something. Okay. I thank you for this award. I very well appreciate it, but I think I ought to go sit down.
All right, thank you very much, and congratulations, Mr. Barrett. The next honoree is Phillip R Kremens. You can applaud for Mr. Kremens. Phillip R Kremens was born in the South Bronx in 1952, has lived in the Bronx his entire life. His parents, John and Mary, emigrated from Ireland in the 20s. They were proud of their new country and taught their children to serve it well. He's the youngest of 9 children, 5 of whom served in the military. He served in Vietnam as an infantryman, and he's a proud combat veteran. I got a list, and you can see it in your program, a list of decorations and medals and awards. We'll be here all day if we try to read them all. He has held many positions, including the American Legion Post Commander and Bronx County Commander. After his retirement, he started to volunteer at the James A. Peters VA Medical Center in 2003 and continues to volunteer until this day, just what the commissioner was talking about. Thank you so much. Congratulations for your attendance.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today in the honor, and it's my honor to serve people and to be a volunteer. I was taught that as a young child living on 144th and Brook Avenue. Holidays came, there was 11 of us in the family. Meals weren't that big. My mother made us go out on the holidays and give to the people who were in the street. So they all got, that's how I learned about doing this service. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Batting third is Chaplain Marissa Estrella. And I have to say, Herb talked about being a nurse. If you've ever been in the hospital, you know that nurses are like, again, at the top of the food chain. You need a friend, that's who you get. She was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, a descendant from one of the most influential families in the city of Santiago de Caballeros in the Dominican Republic. At age 24, she enlisted in the U.S. Army, was honorably discharged in November 2006 after 2 tours of duty. And this I love, the kindness, generosity, and compassion she willingly bestows on her fellow veterans have propelled her to establish Worldwide Veterans and Family Services Incorporated, WVFS. Under the leadership of Chaplain Maria Estrella, WVFS aspires to fill the gaps in that very important continuum of care for veterans and their families. Chaplain Maria Estrella.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the President, the Commissioner, Ken, and everybody that is here, and everybody that's looking at us over there. I just wanted to say that I'm a vet. My father teach me, and my mom that she's there, my nephew, that came, they always show me how to help other people, and my father was in the service in the Dominican Republic. So I learned from him. So I decided to follow his goal to help everybody that needs help as a veteran here. And we just opened one in the Dominican Republic. I'm going next week over there because we open a place over there just to help. We have 25,000 veterans living over there. And some of them, they don't have no benefits. Some of them, they don't know how to apply for some of the stuff. And Sean is supposed to go with us in August. He's going to see the clinic that the VA is paying over there to help those veterans. And they're getting medical help. Thank you very much for everything. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Up next is Adame La Crown Oluron Toba, a.k.a. Toba. He's a wartime veteran of the United States Air Force who served meritoriously from 1998 through 2002 when he was honorably discharged. Commander Toba is the current post commander of 1871 in Co-op City, a position he has held since 2016. During the pandemic, he led Post 1871 to give out about, hold your breath, 35,000 masks in the community, talk about saving lives, and continuously champions the weekly food giveaway program. They had given out more than 4,000 boxes of food to support the veterans and families that are struggling during this pandemic. He's the current vice president of the NAACP Co-op City section and a life member of the National Council of Negro Women Northeast section. Congratulations, Toba.
Thank you very much, the Borough President. Thank you for the Veteran Advisory Council, those that put my name in the mix. I was a bit surprised when I got a letter, but I want to thank God for this great opportunity. It's a blessing to be here because at the wake of the pandemic, I got hit and it was terrible. I believe the COVID-19 was already on, but some of us didn't know. And we were going through funerals thinking it was something else. So along the line, then the news came. So I'm saying this to say that it's true that we're being honored today for being veterans, fighting, or being in a time of war, one kind of another. But we all know that in the past, let's say 14 months, we were all fighting a war that we don't even know. They call it invisible war. And it now put everybody in perspective to know that even if you have the weapon, you cannot use it. Now it turned out that we have new set of veterans that are coming up. We call them essential workers. And they were out there on the front line to make sure that everybody has a voice. But definitely, with that being in perspective, we also realized there's a different war, which was hunger, which was how do you prevent this coronavirus? But all of us are in the mix and we get through it. So to be here today is a blessing. And also I want to thank the Borough President because I felt like you're putting the best for the last. This is your last time in office, and for us to choose people like us, I believe you have been thinking about it. So thank you so much. I had an experience, and this is why we need to give thanks to God every day. I was in a program that was 2019, Martin Luther Day in the Bronx. And people knew that, okay, it's almost out, and they referred to me, oh, this is your last event. He said, no, I still have 1 year to come, don't worry this. But 2020 came. He couldn't make it because then there was pandemic. I said, oh, when he was there, he thought he has 1 more year to come and do the ceremony, but the pandemic prevented that. So, beloved, for us to be here is a blessing. And I just want to thank the people that are giving me support. The Bronx County American Legion, they gave me a voice. If there is no platform, I couldn't do what I was doing. So I found comrades that are loving, caring, and they're very supporting. And that is the same thing that helped me to be the commander in Co-op City. So for this award, I really want to thank you. I thank the advisory board. And for veterans, I say thank you for your work. Thank you very much.
I tell you, there's nobody I respect more than people with Bronx-tude, with Bronx attitude, man. I love it. Toby, you got it, man. Beautiful. That's who we are, right? Let's bring on Owen P Mangan. Owen Mangan. Mr. Mangan proudly served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 82 to 88 as an MOS 0311 Rifleman Infantry. Let's see, throughout the years he's participated in numerous organizations, including the New York City Transit Pipes and Drums, Boy Scouts of America, Marine Corps League, and today, in addition to being a life member, he currently serves as the commander of the Samuel H. Young American Legion Post. You happen to be enjoying that post right now. And so, Owen Mangan, thank you. Good
morning. I just want to thank the Borough President for this gracious honor and my fellow recipients. I accept this honor in the name of every veteran who have given everything and asked for nothing. Thank you very much, and God bless America.
All right, up next is Sean Kingston. Sean is the only one of today's honorees who is not a veteran, but no one would believe that due to his lifetime career of working with and assisting our heroes. He started his career with the VA as a 16-year-old high school work-study student. After completing high school, he was offered a full-time job with the Bronx VA, quickly excelled through the ranks, working in various departments within the VA, including an assistant in the Public Affairs and Community Relations Office. That's something I can relate to, I can tell you that. He's responsible for accessing and analyzing a wide variety of veterans' demographics and logistics to increase awareness of VA services to our over 35,000 Bronx veterans. He was recently promoted to Chief of the Center of Development and Civic Engagement at the Bronx VA. It's a long 2-page biography. That's only because it's a lifetime of achievement. Sean, maybe. Sean Kingston, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much. On behalf of the VA, I would like to thank the Borough President for your 12 years working with our veterans and all that you've done for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You will be missed. And the very best of luck to you to your endeavor. You know, when I walked into the VA over 25 years ago, as a young 16-year-old, not in a million years I have ever thought my career would take me to the point it is now. It's been an honor serving our veterans. I've encountered thousands and thousands of vets, not only in the Bronx, but New York City and our entire states, aligning them with services and benefits that they so richly deserve. Someone once told me, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I actually love getting up every day serving our veterans. As you indicated earlier, I was recently promoted to the Chief of Center for Development and Civic Engagement, which would give me an opportunity to better serve our veterans. Look, I'm bringing on new programs into the VA. So thank you so much for this honor. I want to thank Herb, you're one of our VSOs. Thank you so much, congratulations. Mr. Kremens, congratulations as well, you're one of our volunteers. Also want to thank the Veterans Advisory Council, led by Tracy, Joe, the Bellows, Team Bellows, and the rest of the group. And to our honorees, Marixa, and everyone else, congratulations. Thank you for your service, and thank you so much for this award. It's really appreciated.
Now that's the young lady who's with you.
Oh, and to my beautiful mother. Every day is Mother's Day. Mom, thank you so much for being there and everything. I love you very much. Thank you. And all the mothers as well. Thank you.
So let's give all of our honorees a strong round of applause. Sean just reminded me in that saying, that adage that if you love what you do, you haven't worked a day in your life then. And so I got to get me a job soon. It just hit me. I haven't worked a day in my life in the last 26 years. Gary, are you a veteran? No. Then you know what? On that note, then Sean, unfortunately, you're not the only non-veteran getting awarded here today. I want to acknowledge and honor Gary Axelbank for being part of it.
Now I got to say his speech. That's all I do. My goodness gracious. Talk about a surprise. This is a surprise.
You deserve it.
Yeah. You part of this tradition.
That's it. You're part of the family.
Well, you know, I didn't serve in that way, but I serve my community every day. And the issues, people say to me, what do you do on your TV shows? I say, look out your window. Whatever's going on out there, that's what we do. And so, Mr. Borough President, thank you so much. It's really an honor. And you know, I would do this without awards anyway. This is what it's about, serving our country and serving our people. Well, now you got me without, I don't even know what to say, and that's the first time ever in 26 years. Bronx Talk has been alive for 26 years, if you could imagine that. And I remember I ran into you at Lehman College as you were just finishing up, how many years ago, and we did an interview, and we did it before you were an elected official. Unbelievable. All right, now let me recapture myself here. I want to thank all of you. Let's one more round of applause for all the honorees: Herb Barrett, Phillip Kremens, Chaplain Marissa Estrella, Toba, Owen Mangan, and Sean Kingston. Another round of applause for all the honorees. And even for me, yeah, that's great. And so let's bring up Chaplain Marissa Estrella to deliver the benediction.
Heavenly Father, we thank you from the beginning of this event to the end, that they can hear our voice and that people can help us, and that can see that we are the veterans, we are heroes, and we deserve a better life, and that all the people in the world can see that we need help, that we're not supposed to be asking for help. We here, we serve, we are the one that give the freedom to each country. Please, God, help us. In the name of Jesus, amen.
I think we want to get all the honorees here, and then let's just mention there is lunch, so a light lunch for people who want to stay around. Let's do that. And congratulations, the honorees. Thank you for your service, and thanks to everybody for their service, and thank you again, Mr. Borough President.
Thank you. For those who are watching, you can go on ilovethebronx.com. For those of you who are here, if you want to join us in some of the events coming up this week, obviously because of the COVID ordinances, we need people to register, pre-register for those events. We have wonderful honorees that we'll be inducting to the Bronx Walk of Fame on Saturday. We have a little celebration at the parking lot in Orchard Beach. We want to say thank you. I know that the honorees here say thank you for being recognized, but this is our way of saying thank you to you and all that you represent. Thank you to all of our veterans, those who are with us, those who have gone on to, to the afterlife. We appreciate everything. For those of you who are watching, if you see a veteran, if you see a man and woman in uniform, please take 2 seconds out. It doesn't take much, but it goes a long way. Say those 2 words that Gary says every year. Thank you. God bless you all, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. How about a photo op?